Hello friends, we're going to take up some therapies for counseling. Psychological therapies generally fall into varied categories. Behavioral therapies, which focus on cognition and behavior of the individual. Psychoanalytical therapies, psychodynamic therapies, these are those which focus on unconscious relationship patterns that have evolved over the childhood till adulthood. Humanistic therapies, they focus on the self-development of the individual. Art therapies, these are those that use creative arts within the therapeutic process. Very common these days, couple counseling, which looks to resolve issues experienced by couples. However, this is just a generalization. Counselors might generally overlap some of these techniques. Some counselors or therapists practice a form of integrative counseling. Integrative counseling means a blend of specific types of techniques. Other practitioners may work on eclectic ways. Eclectic means that they may take elements from several different models and combine them when working with the clients. There are a number of therapies that may be used. While all can be effective, you may find one approach more appealing than the other, or find that some approaches are better, more suitable for a certain area of counseling than others. There is no fix-all approach. It will depend on you, your situation and the therapist. Well friends, in this presentation we'll be taking up the rational emotive behavior therapy, commonly known as REBT, developed by a psychologist, Albert Ellis. The objectives to be covered under this presentation are history of REBT, that is its transition from rational therapy to rational emotive behavior therapy, postulates of REBT, the transition of the ABC model to the ABCDE model, and the implications of this theory. Rational emotive behavior therapy is the first of its type of the cognitive therapies. Ellis first began developing this therapy during early 1950s, and his basic focus was on rational therapy, that is on rational thoughts. It was in 1959 that he renamed his technique as rational emotive therapy, which later became rational emotive behavior therapy in 1992. Ellis continued this work on REBT till his death in 2007. The transition from rational therapy to rational emotive therapy and to rational emotive behavior therapy was a movement, or was a change of focus from irrational beliefs to helping the clients in changing their irrational beliefs and bringing about a behavioral change and an emotional transition. Now, basically, what is the history behind this rational emotive behavior therapy? As a young man, Ellis found himself longing for companionship, yet he experienced severe fear of talking to women. In order to tackle his fear, Ellis decided to perform an experiment. For a month, he visited a nearby park, forced himself to talk to different women, his sample was almost 100 different women. Over time, he found that his fear of speaking to women had diminished considerably. This experience, in fact, served as a basis for developing his approach to this therapy, where he combined behavioral strategies with underlying thoughts and emotions. Ellis was actually a trained clinical psychologist, and he was working on the psychoanalytic approach, that is analysis of the behavior of his clients in bringing about some therapeutic process. But now he was becoming increasingly dissatisfied with these results, and he switched over to the rational emotive behavior therapy, where it was more action oriented. This psychotherapy now resulted in helping the clients to manage their emotions, their cognitions and their behavior. So the basic postulates of his theory were that he felt that people are not actually disturbed by things, but rather by their perception of viewing those things. All the emotional problems, they come from irrational thinking, and when these irrational feelings keep mounting over, then they become problematic, and it is then that a problem results. the root cause of any problem is that people keep blaming the external events for their unhappiness. They will not try to analyze themselves, but they will keep blaming the external events. The fundamental assertion of this therapy was that people feel that they are influenced by how they think. It is not that how they feel, but they are more influenced by how they think. So on the basis of these postulates, he formulated a model to work on this, and this model was called as the ABC model, where A is the activating agent. Activating event means anything that happens in the environment around you. For example, a person may be suffering from a problem, and he may go to a therapist where he has a breakup in the relation. Now this is an activating event. The breakup in the relation is an activating event. This activating event is going to bring about some thought process. It's going to result in some thought process. He'll start holding some beliefs about that particular event, that is breakup in the relation. He may think, this is awful, I can't stand it, I have to do something. And now this belief is going to result into C, that is a consequence. Consequence may be an emotional consequence, it may be a behavioral consequence where he starts feeling depressed, he starts crying, he's not able to work, he feels broken up totally. On the other hand, the same activating event may result in another belief. He may think, this is unfortunate, I've broken up with a friend, I'm very sad. But that's not the end of the world, there's much more to do about it. So what will be the consequence? Normal emotions. He continues to work. He's depressed to a little extent, but that is not affecting his work, that is not affecting his emotions, that is not affecting his behavior. So this was the ABC theory as devised by Ellis. But now, as I told you, that he moved from rational theory to rational emotive behavior therapy. So when this change made him result into another step, that is the D and the E, the next two alphabets of the English, that is, he said that let me work on it, let it be a curative, let it go towards the curative steps. So ABC is basically a diagnostic step where he diagnoses the activating event, and resulting beliefs, resulting thought processes, which may finally result into some consequences. I'll take another example. Supposing at your workplace, your boss shouts at you. Now what is the activating event? Your boss yells at you, he shouts at you. You may form various beliefs. Now here I'm focusing on the irrational beliefs that come in your mind. How dare he yell at me? How unprofessional of him. It's not right. He should not have acted that way. I am going to retaliate. I'm going to take a revenge. I'm going to quit the job. I'm not doing his work. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to have what I want. Now what are these? These are all the irrational beliefs that come in his mind. The consequence will be anger, quit. He's going to decide to quit. He's going to decide to take a revenge. So what is this? These are the consequences as a result of these irrational beliefs formed by him. Now moving to the curative step, that is D. D is the disputes, the questions that come in his mind, the irrational beliefs, but he starts challenging those irrational beliefs. Where is the evidence that no one can yell at you? Where is the evidence that the boss must always behave professionally? Why is it so awful? Why is it that you will do or you will have whatever you want, even if it's irrational? So just keep working on your irrational beliefs, keep challenging those irrational beliefs, and then you go to the next curative step, that is E part, where you move on to figure out more effective thoughts, feelings and behavior. You may not like it that your boss shouted at you, but still you can stand it. You do not like your boss shouting at it, but then you will go and talk to him when he calms down. You should remember that when you are at workplace, you cannot always do what you want. You cannot always have what you want. You will be annoyed, but be determined to keep your job. Don't think of quitting even if you're in anger. Go for meditation, go for exercise, do anything to calm yourself and avoid irrational thoughts. So this REBT model basically has first 5 alphabets of the English language. A, activating event or the adversity that has been caused for which you need to go for a therapy. B, that is all the beliefs, all the events that are there in your mind. C, the consequences of those events. D, the disputes, the challenges to these irrational beliefs that arose in B step. And when you move ahead to bring about effectiveness in replacing these irrational beliefs, that is E. So friends, identify the irrational thought patterns and belief. Challenge your irrational beliefs. Say, yes, I'm going to fight. I'm going to be a fighter. I'm going to fight these disputes. Gain insight and change behavior. So rational emotive behavior therapy can be very effective in treating the various psychological disorders, maybe anxiety, maybe phobia, some specific behaviors such as severe shyness or excessive approval seeking. Thank you and have a nice day.